We can't hear the music in here. It's really light. Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Joe, I can't hear the music. I'm just teasing.
Joe, could you just fine tune it a little bit in my right ear because it's a little too loud in the right ear? Barbara missed you yesterday.
Oh, that's nice. Sorry, I'm still finna. I'm not looking at comments yet. Hi, Barbara. Good morning. Love you guys. Appreciate it. Do they just pick the house music that plays each day?
Yeah. Sorry. It's a channel that that has several different songs, and you can shuffle them, or they just play in order. But yeah,
So you just turn it
pretty
on,
much
it starts playing.
Sorry, I couldn't hear anything.
Hey, Pam. Good morning to you. Donna, welcome into the show before the show. Get started about 9 o'clock. Thanks, guys.
I had the speakers on out here. I was jamming to the music.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't hear anything.
This is kind of annoying.
This one is annoying.
That boom. I mean, I like the boom boom. But
Right. I think your listeners don't think it's bad. They like it
maybe I'm just in a bad. I've always thought that I don't get bad moods. I just feel like I'm in a bad mood right now.
because of the music.
No, I don't know.
That's because it's gloomy
I
outside.
feel edgy.
Yeah. You are a little edgy.
I know. I feel. I do.
And I don't mean crabby. You just live on the edge.
No, I don't. Yeah, I do. I do live in the edge in some areas. There's no doubt about that.
See, now this one, just start dancing and then you'll get out of your little edgy mood there.
No, just lots on my mind.
Gosh, I think a
And
lot
I
of
don't
people
put it
feel
there.
Right. It just comes there because there's so much negativity going on in the world today.
Well, yeah. There doesn't need to be.
No, there doesn't. Trisha says maybe you need some gummies. He doesn't really take these gummies he teases about.
No, I only did a couple times.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah, Pam says it looked tense. No, I do. I am. I do.
Mhm. Yeah, and she tells me to brighten you up.
No, I'm a happy-go-lucky guy.
Yeah,
I
you
really
are.
am.
You are.
And I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and I trust everybody.
But that's the problem. You trust too many people too soon.
And I want to believe in the best in people, and then you start to wonder.
Correct. There are still a lot of good people out there.
I'm not going to change who I am.
No, because you trust people until they prove they're not trustworthy. And once they are non-trustworthy, then I think it bothers you because you expected more out of them.
Yeah, loyal people get
Yes.
really pissed.
I agree. I agree. I understand that because you know how loyal I am. The three of us right here are very loyal. We can't understand why other people are not loyal. We don't get it. We don't get it.
Jim says that when he feels edgy, music is
The Cure.
the cure.
Yeah, he's got some good tunes that he drives to work in. I like seeing his posts.
Cancelites.
Cancelites. I like
Guys,
that.
thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing the show.
That should make you feel better that you're a cancelite.
Yeah, a cancelite.
And I think a bunch of cancelites are going to all meet up on the first day of Wendy's Roadhouse. So
Yeah, mid-May. They're trying to figure out the exact time.
The exact
Just taking
time,
care of
okay.
some things behind the scenes right now.
when I think I told them June 1st because I thought that was the first day that they were having music, but I don't know.
No, it's going to be way before that.
Way before that?
Yeah.
Okay. That's just the first thing I saw that Calvert and Williams were going to be there.
I don't know what Robert means. Character, me.
Well, because today the people's character is all about themselves. Me, myself, and I. Me. People don't look beyond themselves right now. It's a whole generation of selfish people.
We just think people, no, but the thing that in life, just be direct, be honest. It's so hard for some people just to be direct and be honest.
Correct. So many are not direct and honest. They're a little shady.
Let the chips fall where they may.
Yep.
Donna says, hey, Vic, do you remember that joke I called in when you were on the edge? A truck driver walks into a bar with his steering wheel in his pants. I'm trying to remember. Say it again.
Yeah, say it again.
I remember it being funny.
Today's a day for that truck joke.
All right, let's go ahead and start the show. My man. Hey guys, welcome into cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house. We're ready to get some things going on a Thursday, April 11th. I kind of like the music, Joe, as you can, like when we come, don't you think it should continue on?
I think it should continue on.
That's how they do it. And like, yeah, but Joe's doing a lot just to get it there. Like the really like good shows.
Like us. We're the good shows. Like us. Right, Joe? We're the good show. We're the good show.
Joe, make it
I thought
happen.
we were doing pretty good.
Yeah, I think we're doing great, actually. So you just
I'm
keep playing
teasing.
on the
But
music.
no,
Just keep playing it.
Self-deprecating.
Yeah, you are self-deprecating.
I think it does add to it, though.
It does.
I do too. I agree. Well, you know, once he does his whole little intro, keep the music through his intro. And I'll try not to talk through it. That'll be my cue. Lizzie, don't talk till the music's done.
Just stop talking. I've heard that a few times.
Yeah, me too.
Just stop
Stop
talking.
Yes, me too.
Be the light today, friends. Be the light.
Be the light.
Don't go to the light, but be the light.
That's right.
We're here. Cancelthisshow.com, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. Thanks for jumping in. We have the live cast. Your opinions, your comments, your education. We're grateful for all of that. If you have story ideas, let us know. Interview ideas, because we do news headlines, politics, cancel culture, education, news trends, you name it. We have it. And of course, we got a lot again today. Pack. You know, we're here every day. Thanks to Derek for coming in and filling in yesterday with you guys. So I didn't get a chance to hear any of it, but I heard it's always great, as it always is with you guys.
He's really funny.
Tomorrow you'll be gone. Megan will be in.
That's right.
You're doing more volleyball, and that's awesome that you get a chance to do that. Oh, now they can't remember the joke. A guy walks into a bar with a steering wheel or in his pants, and now they can't remember the punchline.
Yes,
Anyway.
that's a bummer. A steering
I
wheel in
know.
your pants. That in itself is a joke. You don't want a steering wheel in your pants.
I don't know.
You want a steering wheel in your pants?
No. I don't know.
Okay.
We just have to wait and see where all that goes. We're grateful you guys jumping in again. It is Thursday, April 11th, the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. Joe's laughing. Pro Joe is. Not sure why, but maybe I missed a joke.
I'm laughing at Lizzie saying everybody wants a steering wheel in their pants.
Why not? Why wouldn't you want a steering wheel in your pants?
Thanks, Donna. Now I've got that visual.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yeah, uh-huh. We're all good for there. So anyway, guys, thanks for hopping in. Thursday, April 11th, lots to get to. Wall Street Journal doing a very, very, very serious article on St. Louis City. I'm telling you, I'm trying to be positive, and I always try to be. And I know mindset is so important. It's so important for everything. But you have to be honest and real. St. Louis isn't coming back, and they're not coming back for a long time. Now, I think St. Louis could make a remarkable turnaround if they had a Republican leader, because Democrats don't work. Somebody who's really about security first, policing first, which will bring people back. There's a reason why the AT&T tower just sold for 98% less than what it was 16 years ago. Let that sink in. We're going to break that story down. A new law, Valentine's Law, has passed the Missouri House. It's now going to the Senate. Yeah, golly, hopefully it doesn't have opposition. All it's trying to do is make it a felony to flee police, because the amount of people fleeing police went up drastically in the state, specifically St. Louis County. Go figure. A dance team triggering, making people feel unsafe because they have American flags on their shirts. Yep, these are the kind of things that happen. Trump had a big day in Georgia yesterday. We'll get into that as well. We've got videos all over the place. I will never forget this person trying to tell me about a year ago how they really like NPR because they feel it's balanced and down the middle.
Oh, stop it.
Not kidding. Now we're finding out how much money. And then they're like, well, we only get 1%.
Somebody really looked at you with a straight face and said that about NPR?
Yeah, somebody who is very intelligent as well, somebody who makes a lot of money, and somebody who you would consider, by meeting them and spending a lot of time with them, being
intelligent.
That's how good of a job the media has done.
Yeah.
We'll tell you how they have pulled the wool over your eyes, which blows my mind. So much more to get into as well. I'm looking forward to it. I did want to start, though, with the St. Louis story. The St. Louis, we got to get into this. Okay, Joe, you can show the AT&T tower again if you want to. This blows my freaking mind. The AT&T tower in downtown St. Louis, which we're showing our viewers right now on the show this morning. I don't care where you live in America. This will blow your mind because it's happening in inner cities. This, in 2006, was sold for $205 million.
205. Okay.
Now it has sold for $3.55 million.
What?
It went from $205 million to being sold for $3.55 million.
Wow.
If you do your math, you get out your calculator, or you do it in your minds. If you're a numbers freak, that is a 98% decrease in value. I repeat, a 98% decrease in value.
That's crazy. And it's a big, beautiful building, unless the inside's wrecked now.
And why do you think that is the case?
Well, you're going to tell us.
No, well, isn't it obvious?
It's really obvious. The whole problem is security and safety, and the lack of
security and safety.
Yes, that's the whole reason why. Because a lot of downtown St. Louis, there's areas that still really could be pretty. Nobody feels safe going there anymore. That's why. And you can thank all of those Democrat officials that defunded the police. That whole defund the police was already compounding a problem of security and safety already. And then when you take the police away, nobody wants to be there.
One of the largest buildings in Cleveland just sold as a short sale with Bank of America.
Wow.
That coming from Cleveland, and Robert telling us this is happening all over the country. I heard for migration housing.
I've heard that too. I haven't seen any.
I have not heard anything where that is a legitimate deal.
I don't know.
But that's a side piece. That's a side piece.
Yes, it is.
And not a good side piece.
That's not the kind of side piece that gives you a little fun.
I guess I should have said side story.
Right.
98% value lost in 16 years. I believe in mindset and a positive mindset, but you also have to be real. You have to have reality in your life, and you have to have truth. The truth is St. Louis and several other cities are not coming back anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the citizens' fault themselves. This is St. Louis citizens. These are the St. Louis citizens, the residents of St. Louis. It is your fault that the city has fallen apart. Why is it your fault? Because you have allowed the kind of people to come into office and not gone out and done enough. If you live in St. Louis City, this is a problem because you allowed people to come into leadership roles who have allowed the policing and the law system to go into total dire straits. That's why people don't feel safe. Businesses did not want to go down there. Michael Neidorf and Centene blew this whole story up a few years ago, talking about why it is unsafe, truly unsafe. 98% value lost on one freaking building. Then, in the midst of all of that going on, which brings it out, the Wall Street Journal does an article and basically says that St. Louis is the worst city in the country when it comes to being comfortable.
Mhm.
They literally called downtown St. Louis's real estate situation a nightmare. Quote, nightmare. It just didn't happen by chance. It's not racism. It's because people in St. Louis City have elected people, the mayors like they have, the circuit attorneys like they have. And you see people like Janae Edmondson, get hit. Other mom and daughter, being killed by drivers and people who should be in prison. The murders. You have the St. Louis City Police Department, because no fault of their own, reporting crime stats that are not true. Did you know that 2 nights ago, the St. Louis Cardinals had one of the lowest home attendance games ever on that date, ever? And it's not just because the Cardinals ownership group has left a lot to be desired, because they know, and I'm not trying to be mean,
Mhm.
that like humans, Cardinal fans, oh, well, we go to Cardinals games whether they're good or not. And then the owners just laugh all the way to the bank, giving you a subpar product.
Correct. And that's what they've done. So you've got a
But
subpar product
crime
in a subpar town.
Yes, but the crime aspect of it.
You're right.
And then on opening day, it's all been taken care of, but you had a multitude of people who fell victim to a crime who thought they were parking in a spot that was legit. They came back out to find out that they'd been ticketed or cars towed because they parked in spots that were not legal.
After paying $40 to park there.
Once again, welcome to St. Louis City. And who is the leader of St. Louis City? It's the mayor. So I'm not trying to be mean. We're just having honest, factual conversations. Facts, not feelings. Facts before feelings. Facts, then feelings after.
I'd like to hear what she's saying about all these businesses last night being broken in at Soulard. And it was a 35-minute response time to get any help.
Once again, the reimagining of police. I talk to people outside of this market who say it all starts with a positive mindset. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. But you're not going to change anything or people's perception for a generation.
Mhm.
You're just not. And it's not going to change until you have a leader that comes in and says, security, job number one. Police, job number one. That's how you take care of convicting people, prosecuting people. It's not just St. Louis. It's Chicago.
Mhm.
It's New York. It's Boston. It's Dallas. It's Atlanta. It's LA. This is happening. Phoenix. It's happening all over the country. And you see what's going on, Cleveland, and you see what Detroit, you see what's happening with the real estate. Robert says, I feel most of the facts are manipulated. So there's that. I have no idea what you're referring to from that standpoint. We do appreciate your comments when you guys come in.
Well, the facts are manipulated because they're saying that when Joe Biden is saying the crime is going down in St. Louis and other places, it's because they no longer have to report real statistics. So it's all manipulated.
Well, people don't want to have this honest conversation, but we have it. St. Louis City, St. Louis area county started to decline with the Mike Brown situation.
That's exactly
Just
right.
did. People don't want to have a legitimate, honest conversation about what that did to the region, what BLM did, what the riots did when Dave Dorn was murdered, just trying to protect a store. Those situations, those stories go up. If you're a business, you don't want to go into St. Louis. If you're a national business, you don't want to go into St. Louis. And, I was talking to a business owner friend of mine who said the amount of money that is in grants and in programs to help St. Louis businesses is insane. It's a lot.
A lot of money.
There's a lot of money. All you have to do is know how to access it. But there's a lot. But these programs do not exist for businesses in the county.
Mhm.
So even when the deck is stacked against businesses starting in the county or elsewhere around the region, they still can't get people to come into St. Louis City and have successful
Well,
businesses.
you're not welcome there. I mean, we own a piece of property in the city of St. Louis, and I can't, because they know my stance and what I do, I can't be on any boards. I mean, I don't live there, but I mean, I can't, they delete me off their Facebook pages. Soon as they see I'm a conservative, that's part of the problem too. It's not welcoming to people who think different than them. So they're just going to keep getting the shithole type people living there. That's what's going to happen.
Police are afraid to act because they know what's happened. And I'm sorry, this started with mayors ago. I mean, I don't remember it being, I mean, St. Louis has had its issues, but when I moved back in 2015, when Clay was in office, it was different. It was.
You think it was better then too? My
Oh.
perception of it was still really bad.
Nah,
then.
we have gone. I didn't think there was another cliff to fall off of.
But we did fall
Oh
off that
my
cliff.
God, have we fallen off a cliff since Clay? And it's only gotten worse. And guess what? It can get worse. And I think it will get worse until that changes, because now you don't have a mayor that, what's the first thing? If you have a problem, you have to admit you have a problem.
Right. Well, they don't think they have a problem.
And if you don't admit you have a problem, if you don't admit and have truth, then it's just going to continue to go on over and over and over again.
And I guess the people who live there either don't see or are not doing anything about it. If you live in the city of St. Louis, your homeowner's insurance is higher, your car insurance is higher, your taxes are higher, and you're paying a lot more for a very subpar place to live.
Most of the people in St. Louis, and that's a big term, they're afraid to stand up and do things.
You're
they
right.
just are. I know people who've
They're
been
afraid.
in business, who've been in boards, and they talk a good game, but they don't do crap.
That's right.
Keep in mind, 98% value lost on the AT&T tower in 16 years. I can't ever remember seeing a real estate stat like that. 3.5 million is what it was sold for 16 years ago. It was worth over $200 million.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
And think about how in real estate, how most things increase in value.
They do.
Except if you're in the city of St. Louis. And why? It's not because people are racist against the city. It's because of leadership in the city who went after policing and didn't take care of the job that they should have when it came to security.
Well, and you know it's so bad down there with the real estate and everything down there too, because we talk about BlackRock and Open Door and First Key and all of that. They won't even buy there. So that should tell you a lot about it. They don't want anything down there either.
Jim says, I've only lived in the St. Louis area since 2010. That's about 14 years. And he says the decline in the city is painfully obvious.
Yeah, it's so sad.
No, it is. These are the things that are happening. Once again, not just St. Louis. It's all over the country in these cities. And what do all these cities have in common? They're Democrat-run cities.
That's right.
They're inner urban area cities run by the same kind of people. And these are the same kind of people that get voted in over again. It continues to happen. So a little frustrating when you see the decline, because I'm trying to be positive about St. Louis, but the only way St. Louis has a hope, number one, you've got to have a different type of leadership. It doesn't even have to be conservative or Republican, but I think that's where you're going to start and have your best opportunity. But you have to have a mayor that comes in and says, listen, we have not done what we should have done. We're not going to be worried about he, she, they, them, and all this other bullshit when it comes to transgenders. And you know what? If you're gay, fine. Be gay on your own time. But we're not. Why do we have to talk about your sexual preference and make it public for everybody? We need to talk about safety and we need to talk about business and start there. And then you build from the inside out. And this is unfreaking believable that all they want to talk about is race in the city of St. Louis and Chicago and other cities around America, and not get into the real issues. There's once again, when you can't win in policy, as the Biden administration can't with Donald Trump, Trump wins on policy. Then you go after the social issues.
Right. And that's all it is social issues. And
things that might make you feel good, like a dessert or a piece of candy or an ice cream cone for Biden, but they're not what you need for sustainability. your protein, vegetables, and healthy carbs.
That's exactly right. And no one's talking about still another Democrat policy that hurts these big cities is the fact that people are working from home now because of the whole pandemic. Nobody wants to go into the office. And if you have to go into the office and you live in the suburbs and you have to go to a dangerous city, you'll do anything to stay home. And that doesn't even mean that you're lazy. You just are more productive at home, some people think. And so that's another Democrat policy that are hurting these big cities.
Dawn says, aren't they getting ready to tear down the old hotel? I think it was the Clarion that had the top that rotated.
Yes, that's what I heard too. Apparently they're going to tear it down.
I walked in there a couple of years ago.
How did it look?
It was terrible.
Oh, that's so
I just
sad.
felt, I remember it being a great place,
was
and I know it
beautiful.
happens in life, and all they had to do was keep up with it.
That's right. And you could just sit at the top and look down on the city, and I'm hearing they're going to tear it down. But you know what? We talked about this before a couple weeks ago. There was one hotel that was going to be put either in that area or right next to it and was going to build this ginormous, beautiful new facility. But Tashura Jones and her alderman and all the other people in city planning turned it down because they wouldn't allow them to have a 2-year tax abatement. So, I mean, people who do want to come in, they're not helping them there.
I've heard that Tashara just doesn't have the brain to be in office. And I've also heard that she does things just intentionally.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I've heard both.
I don't know. I've interviewed her. I've sat down with her. I know she's an intelligent woman, but sometimes I think people let their heart and their feelings get in the way of doing what's right.
Well, people forget who her daddy is. You're being too nice, Vic. There is a lot of corruption. She purposely does this due to the corruption that surrounds her family, her dad, all of those. She might look at your face. She's a very attractive woman. So she might come in a room and she has a presence and she's very pretty and she says wonderful things, but you're being too kind. They're corrupt. Period. Money, greed, corruption. She grew up around it. She's continuing it and making it even worse.
This is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house. Grateful for everybody jumping in with us again today. But we had to get that out of the gate. I wanted to just make sure you remember what's going on. 98% value of a tower lost.
So sad. And
the rest of St. Louis is, and then the part of the Wall Street Journal, there, Conrad puts here, he published an article. This was published Tuesday morning, quoted the real estate nightmare unfolding in downtown St. Louis. Now, they called it the dupe or the doom loop. Now, St. Louis City is bigger, and Joe can show you a picture of that. They were calling St. Louis City a smaller area. Are there some good things in St. Louis City? Yeah. The soccer team. That's good. That development has been a positive. No doubt about it. But once again, people are only going to St. Louis for Blues games, Cardinals games, and soccer. If it wasn't for sports, I don't know what the hell the Cortex was super popular for a while. Get out west to St. Louis City. North St. Louis City is a disaster, and you can't throw good money at a bad problem. You just can't. You have to cure it from the inside out. So the Wall Street Journal came out and did this, literally called it what they did. And if the Wall Street Journal is calling that, how many businesses do you think the reputation are really going to be able to survive in St. Louis? The reputation is as bad as it gets. Mm-hmm. It's not going to get better.
Well, it's bad when Kara Spencer is one of the farthest left aldermen, and she's even taking heed and standing up and noticing this article and saying they have to do something. It's probably a little too late, Kara, but at least she's speaking up about it now.
Kurt Weigel is the senior vice president and chief downtown officer for Greater St. Louis Incorporated. He said the problems highlighted by the article are nothing new, of course, but adds there are positive factors that can't be ignored. You know what they're saying the positive factors are? They're saying the future of downtown is going to be more mixed use and more residential.
Downtown? I mean, I know they're putting apartments up. I know some millennials are moving back in there because they're putting things that attract the millennials, like, the Foundry and what all those other places in the, pickle hall places and all of that. But the only people that are going to stay there are millennials. And as soon as they grow up and start having kids, they're going to move out too.
Well, he says you can't have a strong metro area without having a strong downtown. I agree.
That's
St.
true.
Louis City should be the cog in the wheel, but St. Louis County is starting to learn, even though St. Louis County hasn't been great, they're starting to learn how to do it. Mm-hmm. I mean, the region may not be excelling, but it's still getting by with St. Louis City being what it is. And more businesses moving to the county and dealing with having to pay more to get out of St. Louis City because people don't feel safe. And then just wait till the illegals show up in St. Louis, and it's coming because other cities.
Yep.
because the other cities around America are dealing with it a lot more than what St. Louis is.
If
And
that's
you're
what
right.
if that's what they use the AT&T building for, that's what they mean by downtown's going to be residential.
Tanya says the St. Louis mayor, Tashara Jones, is owned by the same billionaire, George Soros, like Kim Gardner was, probably.
Mhm.
And you'll have people who are just, they won't look at facts and they'll just say, oh, St. Louis City has so much positive going on. Crime's down. Really? Do you live in St. Louis City? Do you have your business in St. Louis City? No. People will say that because they can't give credit to a conservative. They can't give credit to a man like Donald Trump when this country was in such better shape.
Mhm.
But regardless of who the president is, your own mayor can take care of this in the city of St. Louis.
That's right.
Your own circuit attorney can, but the people have to care enough to vote and vote in the people that can change. But then Americans and citizens, for lack of better, they can just be lazy and dumb. Oh, these people care about me. And then you forget. Oh, these people care about, and then the election comes and then you forget. And the same kind of people continue to get voted in. Oh, that person looks like me. Oh, they talk like I talk. Yeah. Oh, then it's easier to blame somebody else for your problems than it is yourself. Those are issues. Somebody says, did you see what Gretchen is doing in Michigan? Gretchen Whitmer, the terrible governor in the state of Michigan. She's offering money to those who take in illegals. Yes, we talked about this 2 weeks ago. $500 for people. Those are landlords who rent to illegals, encouraging illegals there. And she says the illegals are going to help our workforce. That's the whole thought process behind that. Okay, to each their own. But when the Wall Street Journal, St. Louis, I'm sorry, it's dead. St. Louis is dead. And I'm not being negative or arrogant or mean in saying that. Am I off base?
No,
From a business standpoint, it's dead.
The
For all
fact that
intents
you
and
brought proof of
purposes.
the AT&T building, you can't argue with that, Vic.
And the fact that the Wall Street Journal, which
Yes.
still has credibility when it comes to financial reports, when it comes to money, says St. Louis is the worst.
Yep.
I mean, it's a nightmare. St.
It's a
Louis
nightmare.
City is the worst. The worst.
Mhm. Well, I mean, think about what St. Louis City does too. If you don't even live in St. Louis City, but you work in St. Louis City, they tax you to death too. So people don't even want to work there because if they just move out to the county, you don't have that St. Louis City tax.
And then if the sales
tax
tax
your
does
check.
go away, it's going to put them in an even worse situation
That's
because
right.
they've set this up. Sometimes things have to get worse before they get better. And nobody wants for a situation to get worse before it gets better, whatever it is in life. But you have to suck it up. You have to admit there's a problem. You have to be honest. You have to have truth. And then you start to work on it and see if you can fix it. And if you can't fix it, then you find something else to do.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that have stayed there.
The worst. St. Louis City, the worst
Yep.
of all the cities on the list.
Well, and what do you do? People are in the chat line saying, what do you do?
And it
Well,
has, and they're not even bringing up the crime. Now we know crime and murders are indirectly associated to this, and one problem leads to the next and puts you in a worse situation. It's the proverbial domino effect. But we do care. It doesn't mean I don't care about St. Louis. I'm from here.
right. I
But it
care
wasn't
very much
until I
about it.
moved away and saw how other cities did things. And then I came back and realized, oh my God, not only St. Louis City, but this entire metropolitan area has very small thinking around.
Mhm.
Very well, we're just going to stick in our corner. We're not going to have good progressive business ideas. Well, this is what we've done. People are afraid in this area to branch out and actually have an idea.
That's right. And that's why Derek is saying that the city and the county want to merge. And that sounds great in theory if the county could uplift the city, but that's not going to happen. It would be the county becoming like a shithole too. If
I
they
was
put it
torn on
together.
this.
I was too.
And
I was too.
St. Louis County is never going to allow this to happen.
Correct. And I want, because of the flash.
But guess what? It would save money.
It would save money.
There is no doubt. But
that's right.
there are a lot of people,
Mhm.
a lot of people who would lose jobs.
That's right.
And comfy jobs, not only in St. Louis City, but the county. It was one of the most interesting stories that I covered being in St. Louis, the city-county merger.
Yeah.
Because people from other cities, it's like, what? St. Louis City? It's not a county? And it's like, what? Why isn't it all together?
Mhm.
That's how it's done in other places.
That's right. I was so conflicted on it too. And a lot of people were like, I cannot even believe you would think that's a good thing.
It's not difficult.
Yeah. I mean, if they did it and it was done properly, but the problem is now the county's Democrat. So you'd have one big Democrat crap hole, really. But ideally, if it was done right, I was for it.
And again, I was torn.
Yeah. I
At
was
first,
torn.
I was like, and
torn.
then if you talk to both sides, you're like, damn, this
Mhm.
is a tough one.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it overwhelmingly failed
Mhm.
when it came to voting.
Well,
Overwhelmingly.
and I don't
Because
blame
St.
them.
Louis County municipality said, nope, we like our little place. This is our place. We go here. We're going to stay here. We don't want to be involved. And you know why? Because people don't trust St. Louis City.
They don't.
If there was trust with officials throughout the city and that it had some positivity,
Mhm.
then you know what? County people would get behind it, I think.
I think so too, but nobody trusts the city. Well, heck, that's where I learned.
And then the Michael Brown situation
Ugh.
happened. And once again, this event, he was not some poor little boy that had something mean done to him. He was a effing villain criminal who just stole and abused an elderly man. But they don't want to bring that up.
Mhm.
He's a felon. Yes, he was a younger kid, and we all make mistakes, but he was not a hero.
Oh, he was no hero.
And that's not
for
even
sure.
talking about reports and everything else that came out in video of him going after a police officer. So once again, if there was any way for Darren Wilson to have been convicted, he would have been.
Oh, for sure. Oh, that they wanted to do that.
multiple attorney generals tried, and they
Mhm.
couldn't do it because they knew what the truth was.
But they knew he
But
was a
all
fraud.
those things play in.
Mhm.
Everything the Dems touch turned to crap these days.
Well, it is. And that's where I learned some things
That
even
from the
about
chat line from
St.
Glenn.
Charles County, was because St. Charles County, which is, for anybody that doesn't live here, is a suburb even outside of St. Louis County, farther away from the city. But St. Charles County, some of our tax money was being funneled into St. Louis County for different reasons. And I thought, okay, this is all a bunch of BS.
Well, next week, we may have to push it to the following week. We have a super educated woman coming onto the show, and she has an awesome company. It's an entrepreneur. They teach companies how to make money from within.
That's great.
They show what they can already be making. Former dean of a business school at Northwestern, their Kellogg's Business School. I've been talking with her and explaining what's happening here. And, and it frustrates her, but she still doesn't even see. And she's like, well, I need to know what's going on. I'm like, this is what's going on. You got all these freaking problems that people don't want to talk about. They don't want to be honest, and you have to have honest conversations first. Troy says, of course, Michael Brown is the face of BLM. We appreciate everybody jumping into the show. Canceltheshow.com here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. You can catch all of our episodes, even after we're live, on our website, canceltheshow.com. Please like, subscribe, share the show. We're on X, big platform, Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, Cloud Hub, and then, of course, all your usual audio platforms as well. And we appreciate when you spread the word and share it and let people know and let us know what you want to talk about. But those stories coming out of the gate today, because what's happening in St. Louis is happening around the country. It just happens to be worse in the St. Louis metropolitan area. And I know that people around the country who listen to us may not want to listen to that, but we broadcast live out of the area, but it's also showing what could be coming to your area.
That's right.
What could be happening around everywhere. One other thing, who was the chief of police that was killed a year or two ago? What? Where? What city? Greg says, I'll bet everyone who grew up in St. Louis feels that we have lost ground constantly. Hard to believe and fathom that in 1904, we were the third largest city in the United States, but it's not about size. It's about seeking long-term quality of life and a vibrant free market. Okay. This year, Michael Brown will be celebrating 10 years of being crime-free. That, according to the chat line with Derek. Yeah, that's bizarre. The timing,
whole decade. And just think about what's happened in the last.
And we did bring up Captain David Dorn in the show already as well.
We sure did.
Which is sad from that standpoint. So, I mean, how do you change St. Louis? I mean, it's always good to talk about the positivity of it, but it's just that. It's talk. It's hot air. It's talk. No more talky. We need something that's legit and serious. And until they're going to get serious about crime. And that's why they're trying to, quote, lie and say, oh, our crime's down, violent crime's down 40%, but we'll still take this money. Oh, and this is on the heels of last week where the Department of Justice said St. Louis is number one in needing help to fight crime. This is what, just think about the loss that St. Louis has had since Cori Bush came into office here. She's done nothing except make things worse. Kim Gardner made things far worse.
Mm-hmm.
And Tashara Jones. All three came in and they all three played the race card at one point or another. And at least two of the three are all about transgender and social issues and BLM. All three were about BLM.
Yeah, you go woke, you
And
go
then
broke.
you go woke, you go broke. So there's a connection. And they sell, oh, we're the first three Black women in office and for our positions and all together.
I don't care what color they are.
I
They're doing a
know.
horrible job. They're three, and I'll say it,
And it's been a
three
disaster.
Black women that are a disaster that have ruined their city. Period. I don't care. I don't care if you're green. You've done a bad job.
And the reason we were on the topic was because of the Wall Street Journal article and, of course, the AT&T Tower losing 90% of its value in just 16
That's
years.
crazy.
So if anybody thinks that something positive is going on in St. Louis, let us know. But people in leadership positions from every business aspect in St. Louis City, you know what? There's something on you. There is. If you're standing up, if you know of somebody who's standing up and really doing something, let us know. We're not just about pushing some narrative. We're just pushing fact and truth right now. We would love to hear the positive and how things are really starting to change, but they're not. And I've traveled the country, unlike people who've just been here their whole life. We are so far behind the eight ball in every aspect: money, thinking, and energy to go out and change things that are going on. Another story that is interesting, it's not only for the state of Missouri, but around the country. I think it resonates. And this has to do with a bill. It's legislation that passed the Missouri House. And I'm grateful that it has passed the Missouri House. That's a good thing. It's called Valentine's Law. This is a bill to crack down. Oh, we're trying to crack down on motorists who are fleeing police because I guess motorists feel as if, hey, we can do whatever we want to do. What is happening right now? And this is a good sign. The House approved this 107 to 25. So it has some bipartisan support. It would create a felony offense of aggravating fleeing a police stop. A person could actually be charged with a crime if they keep driving when they know law enforcement is attempting to detain or stop the vehicle. I can't believe that wasn't a law already.
Right. I did not even know it wasn't a law until,
or at least a felony.
right.
It's named the Valentine's Law in honor of St. Louis County Police Detective Antonio Valentine. If you remember him, he was killed a few years ago in a head-on crash. He was in an undercover car in Bellefontaine Neighbors while working with other drug unit detectives when they were conducting an investigation in the area. There was a police chase. This car hit him and he was killed. So, Nick Schroer, state senator from Defiance, he's backing it. Tracy McCreary, the Democrat from Olivet. So, they're all in, which is very, 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 very good. But the problem is the fact that we got to make sure this goes through the Senate. Why would anybody even oppose this? How could there be 25?
Right. I'd like to know who those 25 are. And I guess they enjoy.
Well, they're all
crime?
They're all Democrats.
Of course they are. And I'm
why do
assuming they enjoy
Democrats?
crime.
Why do Democrats support fleeing police?
I don't get it. I don't know if they're all just a bunch of bandits or they just live in, ivory towers behind their own gates, so they don't care. And there's kickback money going on. That's the only thing I can think of.
Well, we know that there are forces and powers that be that try to divide this country in every sense, especially race. But think about that. Finally, making it a law, or at least, but here's the thing though, with criminals, I think we need it, and it sends at least a vocal message.
Mm-hmm.
But
then we have to enforce it.
But you have to enforce it, and people have gotten to the point where they're like, "F the police! I'm going to do whatever the hell I want."
Mm-hmm. Well, and there's teachers on the chat line, like Brenda, that was saying that none of these kids anymore respect the resource officers at the school, and that comes from their parenting. And their parenting knows there's no law in the books, so they can just do whatever they want to do. And it's not just in the city. Look at the county, all over the country. Kids are disrespecting the law.
Yeah, Megan, we've talked about David Dorn a couple times today already.
Yeah.
Paid obstructionist. That's what they can be called. St. Louis City has turned it. We're not talking necessarily about St. Louis City. We're just talking about the state of Missouri. The other thing, and it's not just, quote, city, St. Louis County officials said that they counted over 2,700 incidents last year in which people sped up and tried to get away from police.
I can't even believe that.
2,700 times in a
That's
year
a lot.
fleeing police.
Wow.
I mean, the stats that we bring to the table are mesmerizing. It's not just us giving opinions. We give facts and then we talk about it. 2,700 is what the number is that's given from St. Louis County. And then you wonder, and then we might have one incident with a police and they're shooting and then you're like, oh my God. It's amazing to me that more issues have not happened.
That's
I
over
agree.
100 a month. I mean, that's well over 100.
Fleeing
Right.
police. And that's just in St. Louis County. Who knows the
Wow.
state of Missouri, the state of Texas and Florida and California and Minnesota and everywhere else. California.
Yeah. Well, and it is, and it's a particular group of people that are doing it. And what I mean by that, I'm not saying color or race or it's a group of people that grow up and they tell their kids that everybody owes you a living and that the police are out to get you. So it's not just, I'm blaming it all on the parents because initially everything starts at home, but those parents have learned there's no teeth in the law.
The second part of it is a motorist could be charged with a Class D felony without eligibility for probation, parole, or conditional release. Also, if a death is caused while you're fleeing from police, not complying, the charges could be increased to a Class A felony, carrying a sentence with a minimum of 10 years in prison to maximum of 30 years or even life imprisonment.
I'm just surprised we didn't already have that.
So thank God this is being it was brought to the Senate, or excuse me, it was brought to the House by the guy who I used to confuse your nephew with.
Oh, Justin
your
Sparks.
son-in-law. Yeah. Remember I used to
Justin
call him your
Sparks.
nephew.
Yes. So there's a Justin Sparks and a Justin Hicks. Justin Sparks is not related to me, but you know who he's related to. The police officer, her name now is Elizabeth Taylor. Chat line remind me he was a police officer that was killed in South County.
I thought Hicks was involved in a situation.
Well, Hicks is my son.
I mean Sparks.
Yes. Well, Sparks's relative is a police officer that died. And so if somebody could remind me of who that is, he's from Afton. I can see his face.
So they brought it through overwhelmingly. Now we're going to see what happens in the Senate. In the state of Missouri, if anything doesn't go, it's the Senate.
Blake Schneider.
Okay. Yeah. And it's not just Republicans. That's where some Democrats can also hold up bills. I'm told one of the reasons why the state takeover of St. Louis City when it came to policing didn't happen is because they knew that there are some state senators who would filibuster and not allow it to happen. And they're all from the city. So anyway, we bring everything out that we possibly can. Once again, truth first, then feelings. Truth first, then feeling. We just hope and pray that Valentine's Law gets pushed through as best as it possibly can. There is no reason whatsoever that anybody should ever run from police. And if you don't trust the police, you know what you're taught to do? It's simple. You call the police.
Mm-hmm.
You call dispatch. You call 911. Say, hey, there's an officer that is on my tail. I don't think I did anything wrong. I just want there to be a report of this. And there's a phone call. That's how you handle it.
That's
if
right.
You're not doing anything wrong, or if you think somebody's impersonating an officer, it's very simple. And then you have a record of it.
That's right.
Unless you don't really want to be caught because you know something bad is going on or you have bad intentions.
Mm-hmm.
99.9% of the problems that happen with police stops happen because people don't comply. And there's even evidence of it. And then you have armchair quarterbacks and liberal leaning people who try to go back over. They should have done that. They should have done that in a split second decision. Oh, they should have done this. They have rights. Well, there's another video that's happened in Chicago. The young man lost his life. You know what? Here's the thing. And we'll show you this video. If you want to live, don't shoot at police. If you want to live, you comply. If you don't want to die, you comply. It's that simple. And you certainly don't shoot at an officer. And then I'm sick and tired of family members. Oh, my boy was so nice. He was so loving. Yeah, I get it. Maybe they are. Maybe they are to you. But you can't have a bad moment, because if you have a bad moment with police and you put their lives at risk or make them feel uncomfortable as if they're not going to be able to go back to their wives, their kids, their parents, their families, their friends, then that's on you. You shoot at a cop, you get what you deserve. You shoot at a cop and you die, you got what you deserved. And that may sound so crass and so mean and so hard. If you don't comply, you may die. If you don't comply, you may die. This is a situation that happened in Chicago. This young man, we're showing video of it right now. He, we'll show you what happened and then we'll break it down if you want to just see this right here. He is pulled over and refusing to get out of the car.
Roll that one down too. Hey, don't roll the window up. Don't open the door now. Open the door now.
He had just bought his new car 3 days before that.
Oh, stop it,
And
lady.
he was just riding around in his car. He said, Mom, going for a ride. And they killed him. They killed him.
Roll that one down too.
Yeah, so
why
this
is
is,
that-
we show you this here again.
Open the door now.
Dexter Reed is the person who was shot and killed by Chicago police during a traffic stop. The footage shows police officer firing 96 shots at Reed in about a minute. Reed was pulled over during the traffic stop and he refused to comply. Are you surprised? He refused to comply or the situation would have ended. So he refused to exit the vehicle. A gun was recovered from his passenger seat. One officer at the scene says that Reed shot at him first, which is why they returned fire. Something caused them to all of a sudden return fire, and they knew that there was video there. And then, of course, we see this over and over again. I've never heard a mom or a dad say, yeah, he had problems. It's always like, this is the best boy ever. Well, maybe he was, but what we have on video is not.
Well, and these moms know. These moms are the ones that literally say to their boys or their girls or whoever, when a police officer comes, they're coming to get you. They're going to kill you. So they make up these stories about the police officers. So they have all this law enforcement hate. So this mom, I guarantee you, with her orange hair, was not a police officer lover and was literally telling her son bad things about the police. When you do that, bad things are going to happen. Period.
If you don't comply and you shoot at police officers, you may die.
That's right.
And that's not being mean or having a heart, because guess what? If you have a heart, you have to think about everybody involved. The men, women, black and white police officers, Asian, Latino, you name it. They have lives too. They're protecting themselves. And I'm sorry, I could only imagine the pain that would be of losing a child, especially in an incident like that. But he's alive if he complies. He had a gun in the car with him.
Mm-hmm.
He had the gun.
That's right. And a lot of these and people on our chat line are saying this, and I don't know if this is the case here, but a lot of these
And the
people
officers say he shot at him first, and it won't be very difficult to find that out and figure it out.
right, because the video isn't clear on that, because you just hear a lot of shots, but it did sound like one came from the car because it was farther away. But a lot of the people on the chat line are saying a lot of these parents, it's not that they don't love their kids. I'm not saying that they don't love their kids, but they now will go for the big payout. Look at Michael Brown's dad, who wasn't even a dad in this kid's life. He didn't even have custody of him, and he went for the big payout. There's so many ulterior motives going on here for some of these people to get involved in negative things with law enforcement.
This is on the heels of the story of Valentine's Law. Once again, fleeing police. Secondly, not complying. It's very simple.
You got to comply.
And then you'll see, well, complying's racist. We don't trust this. We don't trust that. Yeah. Well, guess what? You had a gun and police say you shot at them first. And video shows that all of a sudden a cop just didn't shoot. It just didn't happen. They had been sitting there for some time trying to get him out. That just didn't happen. They'd been sitting there waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden he's got his gun, and that's why he didn't want to get out of the car. And he made a shot.
That's right.
And I'm believing police 100% for that standpoint. Suicide by cop or unalive by.
Well, that's a thing. That's a thing. I don't know that this is it this particular time, but that's actually a thing, Vic.
Or we'll see toxicology reports. You don't know if somebody's drugged out of their mind where they
That's
don't
right.
make
Have fentanyl.
where they don't make good decisions. These are big, massive issues that are happening. I'm just tired of seeing younger people made to be heroes like Michael Brown when they're not.
That's right.
And anybody with half a brain and who isn't racist knows that he was not a gentle giant.
Yeah, he was not a gentle giant.
We have video that proves otherwise,
Mhm.
which is unfortunate. If you don't comply, these kind of things can happen. So who knows what's going to happen in Chicago now? And once again, we know that people are so, especially when it comes to race and hate police, that even when they see video, they still won't believe it.
Mhm.
Nope. We had a situation in St. Louis not that long ago. There's no way my son would have ever turned the gun and shot at police before he got hit and run over by a cop. Guess what? The video showed clearly once it came out, he was running and turning around while he's running, shooting at police. And then it was crickets after the video. Oh, they're not apologizing. Hell no. And from the chat line, why was this cute little kid? He's such a good kid. Why did he have a gun in the car with him? Out there. And of course, why did he fire at police first? According to the cops, cops are going to start shooting, not when they're on video. It's not happening.
Nope.
There's a reason. The rose-colored glasses, they want you to believe. Those are the things that happen. So it's a news headline. It's something we'll see where it goes pretty soon. We just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of that and what's happening. Okay. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. Trump had a big day, in my humble opinion, in Georgia yesterday. We got some Trump videos we're going to get to from that. Very interesting interview on how a undercover CIA agent said that FBI agents were all over J6. They were there all over the place. A warning from Dr. Brett Weinstein about what's happening in America still to come. What's happening when it comes to... And we'll get into this now, but my God, I've been saying this from the rooftops about NPR. Okay. There are people, believe it or not, who believe that NPR is a non-biased broadcasting network. I'm here to tell you, and I promise you, it is not unbiased. It is very much biased. Very much biased. Thank God a whistleblower from NPR came out 2 days ago and stated what's happening and how they are using taxpayer funds to promote a liberal message. If you look further on this subject, there are 87 registered Democrats in their newsroom. Guess how many Republicans are registered?
None.
Zero.
Zilch.
87 registered liberals at NPR, zero when it comes to conservatives or Republicans. Okay, fine. If that's what they have, that's fine. Why should you care? Because you're paying for it.
That's right.
Once again, you can't make this shit up. It blows my freaking mind about what's happening. Here's the deal. Here's how it breaks down. CPB is a private nonprofit which distributes federal funding to NPR and PBS. Well, it was granted your tax dollars, $525 million for 2024. That's a ton of money for grants for broadcasting. This was all created out of a 1967 Public Broadcasting Act to disperse federal grants to public broadcasters around the country. Well, I think we know things have changed quite a bit since 1967 when it comes to broadcasting. Well, when it comes to this, NPR has insisted that it's only getting 1% of its $300 million annual budget from federally funded grants like CPB. But a deep dive into the data after the whistleblower came forward shows that this group also funds smaller stations that then guess what they do? Then they send the money to NPR. And the checks, the numbers line up. They follow each other. It's so bad that you may remember even last year, Elon Musk slapped a U.S. state affiliated media label on NPR's account. And of course, he got pushback from staffers. He eventually removed the label, but even Elon saw it. because of all the money that was going in. This is taxpayer funded money. I was blown away. I started the show off saying that I talked to somebody who I would think that has half a brain. He seems like he's pretty down the middle. Oh, NPR is the only source I trust because they're not bought and paid for like Fox and CNN. And I'm like,
And they have been bought and paid for since the 60s and
they're
70s
worse
with
than
Sesame Street.
CNN.
Oh,
Maybe the same as MSNBC, but
yeah, I'd say about the same as that.
this ain't your great grandfather's 1967 broadcasting station anymore. Life has changed. Not one taxpayer funded dollar should be going to a biased political institution like NPR, a broadcasting center. Where the hell is Congress? Where are the Republicans when it comes to stopping that money? $525 million. Guess how much of that is going to radio shows that lean right?
Nothing.
Zero.
Nothing at all.
$0. This is a situation near and dear to my heart. This is where we need our senators and people in Congress to get that money back. How many of you feel like a taxpayer funded dollar should get $1 should even go to NPR? Kevin says Soros wants to control all radio stations that will all be funded by taxpayers. Yeah, wouldn't doubt it.
Mhm.
You're going to pay for messages that are not good for you, don't promote American ideals, and you don't have to like it, but it's going to be on there, and that's your only choice. NPR and the AP are left biased. Yeah, of course they are. I lived it. I did that for many years. From the chat line, I owe $3,800 to the IRS. And when I hear how much they pay to others, it makes me not want to pay. You're not alone. And I understand exactly what you're saying. It's sad. NPR is a biased organization. Once again, if you're just joining us, 87 registered Democrats in their newsroom, and they're 0 Republicans. And all you have to do is listen to a couple segments and you see what they're about. $525 million to CPB, and they funnel the money through NPR. They also give the money to lower radio stations who then funnel the money back to NPR.
It is so ridiculous. It's just like PBS. Both of them are paid for by our government tax dollars. And like you said, some people will look directly and they'll be like, no, it isn't. I was like, watch how the money's funneled. They are doing this propaganda and have for years. So many people did not know that both NPR and PBS were absolutely liberal. But I remember way back in the day, we're watching Sesame Street. My dad was like, this is propaganda. And I was probably 6, and I learned the word propaganda back then. He said, he didn't use the word indoctrinating, but he said they're trying to change the way our children think with this garbage. And that was way back. But it's so funny. People still today don't understand that this is just garbage filtered by our government. It's like a communist state. And we all know that Soros has something to do with it. Soros is now a part owner of a St. Louis radio station that has conservative talk on it. So it's like, wake up, people. They are trying to literally censor what we say.
What station are you talking about? What do you?
Odyssey went bankrupt. And then out of bankruptcy, Soros funded money has gone to that. And there is 97.1, which has some really good conservative people on it, but they're going to be starting to be more censored than they already are censored just by Odyssey.
When do you think that's going to happen?
I think it's going to come real soon. I think it's going to happen real soon because we have a November election. So I think you're going to see that they're told they can't say some things. They're already told they can't say some things. They already try to censor anybody that has a conservative voice. It's here. It's already in the Midwest. It's all over. Well, Odyssey is all over the United States. And now Soros is part owner in it.
Where are the conservatives in Congress to stop this money that goes out? If we're in dire straits when it comes to money and finances, $525 million should not be going to any broadcasting effort unless you have that money and it's split equally.
Sure. Yeah. If you want to split it equally, but we know that's not the case. It hasn't been since the 50s or 60s. And back then we didn't know. Now it's right in our face, and they're doing it really fast before the November election, getting rid of conservative voices, buying up radio stations. Someone on the chat line said, Paul says that 233 stations are now owned by Soros.
Our platform that is FB allegedly just told Eric that he needed to take something down because he posted something. I have no idea what that is
Yeah,
about.
yeah. I don't know what he's posting.
Paul said
but
majority owner. Is that what he was talking about with Odyssey?
yes. Mm-hmm.
This is, I mean,
Primary owner of Odyssey now.
Pam says Satan is the prince of the air. Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt about
for
it.
sure.
Those
for
who
sure.
control the airwaves and the media control the messages.
That's exactly right. Even shows like ours that we have complete free speech, we still have to use words so we don't get censored on all the platforms by the Satan platforms.
You know what? NPR is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Use your brain. NPR is it's a legitimate foghorn for left-leaning ideology. There's no surprise that they have 87 registered Democrats and not one registered Republican in their newsroom. That's done on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And they are getting the taxpayer-funded dollars from your hard-earned work. Why? Why is it continuing to happen? Call this out with senators. Make it a big deal. We'll try to. We try to bring the information out. I still think there's so many pressing and dire issues all across America, as we know about. You have all these other things, and it's like, my God, the wasteful money, the things that are just done on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I mean, this goes back to 1967, and it hasn't been changed when it comes to a financial aspect for grants.
Mm-hmm.
Censored freedom of speech.
That's exactly what's going on.
Try to stomach an NPR. Just try to stomach 30 minutes of NPR.
It's really hard. Well, we can't talk like we're talking. You have to talk like this. You got to talk real monotone. And this is how you can talk if you work on NPR. Don't raise your voice because it might hurt somebody's feelings, Vic. Don't raise your voice. No, Vic, don't raise your voice.
And then, of course, people were so busy in our own lives, we don't pay attention until we don't have something anymore.
That's right.
Which is why we try to bring the information out as best as we possibly
can. And then we're incensed when we don't have it anymore, but it's been coming for a long time.
Just a quick update too. This came in, but we came in with the situation. You brought up what happened in Soulard last night after we've talked about all the horrible things that have happened in the city. And
I wasn't blaming the police. I don't want anybody to think that I was blaming the police.
There's insufficient police in the city.
That's exactly right. And it took them 35 minutes. And when people inquired about that, they were like, we're investigating that now. Instead of saying, we don't have enough police officers, they were probably over dealing with the murder over in the Central West End or something. So, I mean, it's like they just don't have enough people. And if you have a crime that's more important than your whole business getting ransacked, 35 minutes.
I just get so damn pissed. I mean, so damn pissed at media. If you want to get your own money from Soros or else, you get it, but not our taxpayer funded dollars going to freaking NPR of all places. Just call it out when you are. So now you know what's happening. I'm surprised NPR is even, well, I'm not surprised. Now I know why. Their ratings are in the tank, but at the same point in time, if you have unlimited funding, you can just stay on air.
Yeah. And you can just whisper your way through life
that money won't go anywhere else that it needs to. Chris says, and we appreciate you guys jumping in on the live chat as well. At this point, we need to change the mascots to Democrats to a plague rat and the Republican to a fainting goat. Nothing will be done. Real conservatives have been screaming from the rooftops that Section 230 should be done away with in regards to social media, and they do nothing because of money. And I have to agree with you.
Yeah, that's not wrong.
We have broke that subject down in the past as well. Tricia says, you just have to say, if God is not in your life, you may want to find him. It is only going to get worse. Once again, not trying to scare people. We're just trying to educate people. You educate us educate you, and do the best that we can on every platform, every situation that we possibly can. By the way, we do appreciate people who jump in and help our show, starting with WeQuipUSA.com. It's a rental marketplace. Check it out, WeQuipUSA.com. You can literally go there, rent products from other people who put it on there, or put your own products on. WeQuip USA, they rent spaces as well. And who knows, you might even see our own cornhole game, the Cancel This Cornhole game. You may even see that on there as well. Paige Measley and crew. It's WeQuipUSA.com. Check out their website, see what's up there. And of course, they got a brand new website coming, which will be bigger, badder, stronger to bring you more products easier. And of course, there's insurance that applies with everything with the sales. You literally rent from people in your area or rent to people in your own area. And that's why the website, the business is working out from that standpoint. Also giving a shout out to Renewal by Anderson Windows. If you go to our page, our website, canceltheshow.com, click on partners, you'll see Renewal by Anderson. Getting a quote is free. You literally click there. It takes you right to them. They know. It's a great way to, as we get into the spring season, April, to save money, make your house look better, put more investment in it as well. And when you buy from Renewal, you help our show out as well. Once again, check out Renewal by Anderson. We're grateful for those sponsors as well. If you know of anybody else that would like to partner with us, let us know. Vic at canceltheshow.com, Lizzie at canceltheshow.com. Okay, Donald Trump continues to do well. I thought he had a really good day in Georgia yesterday. Mainstream media won't show you this because the mainstream media doesn't want you to see that African Americans at the highest rate we've ever seen love Donald Trump. They do. They love Donald Trump. They love him.
Mm-hmm.
They're real. We've had several African Americans come into this studio, talk with us about how you see maybe some people publicly not say it because there's still this, I don't know why, there's still this image or I was like, well, we don't want to upset people. They don't want to say it publicly, but they're doing it privately. And some are going public. But Donald Trump yesterday making a trip to Chick-fil-A in Georgia. I guess it makes sense. Didn't Chick-fil-A originate in Georgia?
Yes.
So I guess that makes sense. Check out this video of, and how does this make you feel, of somebody yelling out their love for Donald Trump at Chick-fil-A yesterday.
We took care of those colleges.
Sure did. Much better than Biden did. So I was this is Clark Atlanta, this is Spelman, this is Morehouse, this is Morris Brown, and all
Isn't that great?
So I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
We love you.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come
for
here,
a
let
while.
me give you a hug.
Please
That would have been me. That would have been me.
By the way, they were talking about HBCU support. Obama didn't support it like Trump did. Biden didn't support the HBCUs, the black colleges. Trump did.
Mm-hmm.
And the facts are there too. I don't have the specific numbers in front of me, but it's happening. And black people that are Democrats hate this.
Mm-hmm.
It angers them. And it even despises little white commie Antifa guys as well, and women. It drives them nuts. There's no way that this could, African Americans are not supposed to like a white businessman. Oh, it angers them. Their blood boils. It's like the cross being put on that demon. It burns them. It kills them. But it's real. Donald Trump is going to bring in African American support like no white president ever has in modern history. And it's happening because people know that they're being screwed in their neighborhoods and that the Democratic Party has done little, if anything, except say all the right things and then say it every 4 years and then not follow through. I mean, if you're going to complain about inner cities in America, and if you're going to complain and say, well, the African American community doesn't have this or doesn't have that, it's not Donald Trump's fault.
No, it is not Donald
It's the
Trump's
same
fault.
leaders who've been elected over and over and over again. It's like holy water on a vampire, according to Peter. BLM is Dracula.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, pretty much. Donald Trump getting that support. Is anybody surprised?
No, this shouldn't surprise. It doesn't even surprise the Democrats. That's why it makes them so mad.
Because it's all gone haywire. They're like,
That's
oh
right.
my God, we can't handle this. We can't stand this.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin says it is definitely real, Vic. I hear it on the street everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Black people love Trump. Black people love Trump because he is real. He is
That's right.
straightforward. He has been honest with the community. He has a track record of being loved by African Americans. It was only until he ran for president and had an R in front of his name
That's right.
when the media started to go after him.
Mhm.
And now that he is starting to have all of this support with the African American community, you'll see flat out idiots, uneducated people, men and women, blacks on TV trying to say he's going to do things if he's president that are just flat out false. I won't even give credit to some of these people's names because all they want is attention and they're just bad people, saying that he's going to chain American, or he's going to chain black people again and make them slave. I mean, literally
saying they're going to be slaves again. Nobody
women are
believes
going to
that.
be in the kitchen. I mean, it's going to be really. Do you remember what it was like just 3.5 years ago when things were a whole lot better?
Really?
Yeah, that's because when
good.
Donald Trump was president, your life was better than it ever was. But there is a message, and people are paid to say these things because they've got to keep Donald Trump out of office. And guess what? The more that it's being said, I think it's backfiring.
I think so too.
And
Everything
I don't
they're
know if
doing
that
is
we'll have fair
backfiring.
elections and everything else, but
know.
I feel pretty damn comfortable that all of it's backfiring on those who are trying to say that Donald Trump is a racist man.
That's right.
Well, those rappers and all these people, these blacks that love Trump. Yeah, well, they're being paid to say, oh, okay.
I don't think they're being paid to say anything.
Okay.
Donald Trump's not paying them. He might buy him with a milkshake, but he's not going to buy him, with a whole bunch of money. That people just vote for him because we like him and we can relate to them, which seems so weird that he's a billionaire New Yorker, but we can relate to him.
Peg says hate is blinding. Oh, yeah.
Hate is blinding.
Yeah, I know
She's
some people
right.
have hated so much. They will refuse to look at facts.
That's right.
Oh, I can't
Hate
handle
something.
it. I can't handle it. I can't
Yes.
handle it. And this show has become so popular, not only throughout the Missouri area, but across the country because we bring facts. We don't just stand here and give you our opinion. We're giving you facts. Then we'll back it up with some opinion. Trump also had another moment yesterday. I guess you brought up milkshakes. He was trying to buy food. And by the way, whenever Trump goes somewhere, he buys food and tons of it for everybody in the area. This is why I love him, because the national media doesn't tell you. Every time he goes somewhere, he buys thousands of like value meals, burgers, shakes. He does this everywhere. He's not promoting it on his Twitter. National media is not talking about it. Thank God we can see some of the things that he's doing. Check out Trump trying to take care of people while he's there.
See everybody. How you doing, Trump? I'm doing good. I love you, man. You look good. I love you. Yep. Can I have 30 milkshakes and also some chicken? And we're going to take care of the customers. Is business good? You're making a lot of money? You're getting rich, right? Excellent. Thanks very much. Look at the way you hold. You like each other, right? You like each other, right? I think that's very nice. Have a good time. Nice to see you. Thank you very much. So we'll order 30 milkshakes. We'll give them out to the people, and we'll take some for ourselves. Okay? Good. Thank you very much, everybody. Hello. This has got a great American franchise, Chick-fil-A. It is. It's a great franchise. The owner is a great man who's a member of one of my clubs, and he's fantastic. And yeah, they do very well. They're closed on Sunday. The Lord's Chicken. That's the Lord's Chicken.
It is the
You're right.
Lord's
It's good
Chicken.
too. Yeah, good to see you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Get ready for a milkshake. You got plenty of them.
All right.
You got look at these good-looking guys. Huh?
This is an original from 2016.
Oh, I love this guy. I like that guy. Do you have a pen for me? Give me a good pen. That is the original, huh?
From 2016, Cleveland.
You've been there from the beginning.
Absolutely. From the invention.
You knew what was happening.
Absolutely.
You got it. That's cool, man. What's your name?
Lawrence.
Come here, Lawrence. Let me get this pen out of here. Come here. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
He understood long before the rest, right?
Mr. Trump, Shelley Winter.
Hi, Shelley.
I talked to you
Oh,
yesterday.
good. You are fantastic.
Thank you, brother.
You know Shelley?
Yes.
A great host. And are you guys
Radio
friends
show.
or
No,
something?
just via Sante.
Well, that's nice because he's been there a long time too. I
Yes.
think right from the beginning.
From the beginning.
We did a radio interview with Shelley yesterday, and I appreciated it.
I appreciate you very
I
much.
hung up. I said, "What a nice guy that is."
And I'll bring in my clubs at Mar-a-Lago. I'll
You
just knock
let
on
me
the door.
know. I'm telling you. You let me know,
Thank
Shelley.
you, brother. Thank you. God
Great.
bless
Watch his show. His show is great. Listen to his show. His
Absolutely.
show.
95.5.
He got it.
Yeah.
You two guys got it. Huh?
you. And all these kids do too.
I think so.
I
Thank you,
brought the kids.
everybody.
I wanted
Thank
to
you.
say hey.
So you're getting lots of milkshakes. Look at that handsome guy. I wish I had hair like that.
Right here?
Oh
yeah, me.
Hi, fellas. Hi, sweetie. How tall? Thank you. Nice to see you. Nice to see everybody.
How you doing, Trump?
I'm doing good. I
love you, man.
Good.
I love you.
I'm well. Everybody.
Oh my
That
gosh, I
is
couldn't love that more.
Absolutely amazing. That is one of the best videos you can ever see
Oh, I loved it
for
so
a
much.
president. Are you freaking, and then compare it to Joe Biden, his competitor.
He doesn't buy
who
anybody
can't
ice cream.
And not even buy, he can't even handle himself
No.
to stand and talk. That was pure. It was genuine. Look at the excitement of the people at the register, the workers.
Yes.
That was joy.
That was joy. They were freaking out. And didn't you like, he's like, do you guys all get along here? Because Donald Trump wants people to get along. That was a huge statement that he made. Everybody getting along here? You got to get along with who you work with.
I mean, and of course,
Oh,
national media is not going to show you because that could only do great things for Donald Trump.
That's
That's why I hope the video gets out there more and more, because every time, once again, everywhere he goes, he does things like this. And people don't know everything that he buys, that how he takes care of people. Once again, you see the genuine love from him from the African-American community.
Absolutely.
I mean, it is there. It is there. Loving, enjoying,
Yes.
spreading goodwill, spreading good cheer, can actually have a conversation and talk to you. The phone or the chat lines were just blowing up. Love this, giving me chills. What a video. Love to see Trump doing this. Love to see him trying to help out. No effing way Joe Biden can do that. Local bakery had cookies to buy in 2016. Trump on one, Hillary on the other. Trump was sold out. They couldn't keep up. I still have the Hillary cookie in my freezer to remember that election. I couldn't look at that. Maybe you can turn it upside down.
Yeah, turn it all upside down. And people on our chat line are saying the next time Joe Biden goes out and licks his little ice cream cone, people should be screaming, "Where's ours? Where's our ice cream?"
I know. Gives me chills.
Me
Amazing. And that's why I try to show you the videos. Trump in Georgia, Trump with African Americans. He was in Atlanta. The African American community loves Donald Trump. They do. They love him. And we have
nothing better.
And we have at an all-time high. We see that. I mean, it's just freaking amazing.
People on our chat line are agreeing with me all over the place. There's nothing better than Donald Trump eating God's chicken. I mean, it's the best. It's the best thing ever. It's the best.
I just don't think we should call it God's chicken. We already know that.
Well, you know why it's called God's chicken, don't you?
Because of the Sunday deal.
That's right. Now, you don't wreck this moment with your healthy food bullshit right now. Just let me enjoy my moment.
No,
That's
it has
why
not.
I've kept my mouth shut this entire time.
It has nothing to, we just need to, but listen, it's all what you put in your bodies. We've already broken it down. It's not ruining it. It's just Chick-fil-A is one of the worst fast food companies when it comes to the additives that they put in. And
nobody on our chat line cares.
No, well,
we're all going to eat our Chick-fil-A.
Here's the thing. We just give facts and then people do with it what they want.
Well, the owner is a part of Trump's club, right?
Yes.
Yes. It's the
and
dad,
that's why,
I'm
sure that's why he went in there
I'm
too.
sure it is too.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. And I don't know if it was the owner of the whole Chick-fil-A or just that franchise. I didn't get that information.
I could see Trump being in the same golf
Realm
club
yes.
as the actual CEO and owner
Correct.
of.
I'm sure. But, and even on the chat line, some people are agreeing with you, Vic, about they would not eat it. They would not eat.
Well, it's not even a debate. Here's the thing. It's a fact. And I deal with facts first, then feelings. The truth is, it's one of the worst fast food places when it comes in. We've given you the stories. The nuggets sit out for 4 or 5 months and they look exactly the same. Now, that doesn't mean that other fast foods are healthy. I'm just saying it's one of the worst. And I follow a guy, health scientist, it's been rated as one of the worst. Now, it's not trying to ruin anything. It's just bringing facts to the table. The stuff tasted great. Absolutely great. I've done my best to stay away, and I don't think I've eaten any since. But if you want to eat it, you can eat it. But guess what?
Today,
some of the things,
and I'm going to wear my Trump shirt and eat it and take a picture and send it to you, Vic.
Yeah, no, and I don't care if anybody eats it. It's what it is. What it is.
If it puts it in perspective, it's.
I loved
as
Chick-fil-A.
McDonald's.
It's just, we all know
it's just and it's items.
It's
the chicken is what's really, really, really bad for you at Chick-fil-A. It's the chicken. At McDonald's, the Big Mac is one of the worst things that you can have when you break down the food. That's all that was. But guess what? Chick-fil-A is super, super popular. And there's a lot of things in our diets that we need to do a better job at.
That's right.
But
I'm not taking Chick-fil-A and Donald Trump. I mean, I am just still geeking out about the fact he was there. I wish I was there. That would have been the best.
Yeah, I agree.
Tasting chicken in the world.
I'd love to shake Donald's hand. No doubt about it.
Well, I mean, it would be more fun. You don't even know he's going to be there. You're just behind the counter or you're ordering your food, and all of a sudden the president walks in. Well,
I would.
Yeah. Well,
not
they
Joe
gave
Biden.
they gave them a call in advance.
Well, you know they had to because of Secret Service and stuff. They
Yeah.
had to. They had to have enough milkshake too.
I would definitely let Trump buy me a milkshake and some.
Yeah.
Yeah, and wouldn't matter the flavor, would it?
Oh no, free is free.
Mm-hmm.
All the fast food chains are the worst. Has anyone gotten? I haven't known anybody that got the Trump sneakers. I thought they sold out pretty fast.
Yeah, I don't know anyone personally that got the sneakers.
I don't know. Very, very, very interesting.
It is very interesting.
I'd like to see a pair in person.
Brenda
would
says,
too.
I have black friends that hate Donald Trump, but they live in liberal St. Louis County in white neighborhoods. They aren't urban blacks. No, it's that. Yeah, there's people who hate Donald Trump. I'm just telling you, he's the most popular with African Americans in modern history.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Just giving you an idea from where they went. And you look at over time, over decades, over generations where that was embedded in your head. You can't vote for a white person. You can't trust a white Republican. And then all of a sudden you have a man who's changing it. He's changing that. He started to change it in 2016, and now it's at an all-time high. So whatever the total ends up being, it's going to be record-breaking, and it's going to be phenomenal because African Americans are waking up, and they're waking up fast, and they're seeing, hey, if you're upset about your situation, it's not Republicans' faults. It's the Democrats' faults because that's who you voted for. And those are what African Americans have told us on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can be white and repeat what the blacks are saying. That's what's happening. It is. But overall, Donald Trump, this is why Donald Trump continues to gain in the polls, because he goes into these places and liberal media hates to see. I mean, there's nothing that could have gone any better about that video from Chick-fil-A for Donald Trump, his campaign, and anything else, especially when you see everything that's right there.
That's right.
Wow. Donald doing Donald things. Donald frustrating people all over the country who just hate him.
Mm-hmm.
They can't stand the fact that Donald is so popular that Donald can go into a place and African Americans get very excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why not? Of course. I'd love for him to come in.
I would too. I would too.
If anybody in the area has just got a pair of those shoes and wants to come in and show them off, come on.
Hell yeah. We'd
come
love
on
to
in.
see
We'd
that.
love to see. Yeah, I don't know. Does anybody on the chat line or any of our platforms know anybody with those shoes? I don't.
If you do, get a hold of the show.
That's right. Get a hold of us.
This is cancelthisshow.com, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central Live. We love it when you jump into our live cast. Please like, subscribe, share the show on all the platforms, X, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Cloud Hub. That's where you can watch us live. And then, of course, when the show ends, it saves to all of those sites. Plus, Joe downloads it. Pro Joe downloads it to all of our audio platforms as well. If you have story ideas, let us know. And, of course, we continue to bring you truth. Worried about facts first, then feelings after. And that's what we do. This is why we try to be real. Get Trump, not the shoes. LOL. Jeannie. I'm not sure what that means. Like, get Trump. Oh, we want Trump. Yeah, we
want Trump, not the shoes. I'll take both.
Everybody wants Donald.
We need them both.
Yeah,
Megan.
It would definitely be cool if Trump came through that.
Our friend and co-host Megan chiming in today saying she was on Mark Kason's Showdown show yesterday. She said
she did a great job.
She said Mark Kason even admitted yesterday off air that the Dems are doing the black population wrong. You think? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But
he
if
won't
you
say it.
But if you say it publicly, it's a problem. Oh, how dare you? We're going to cancel you. It's all right to be Democrat and have a different idea. I don't know why, when all the facts point towards Donald Trump in this election, facts for a more positive situation all the way around. But at least be honest. Don't be worried about being canceled by your own group because you want to be honest. That's how you get things done. It's not by, oh, well, this is the company line. We got to say the company line, or we're not going to do that. Donna says it's the Democratic plantation. Linda says, yes, I have to watch what I eat. We all do. And I'm telling you, and I hate to say this because I believe in personal accountability. Much of it is not your fault because you get trained to do certain things and people are putting food and companies are putting additives and ingredients in food that you just don't know about. And you have to literally become a dietitian and a food scientist to understand things. That's why I say it's not your fault when people are trying to screw you on purpose. It makes it a whole lot more difficult. That's for sure.
Yeah. And you were talking about Mark Kason, and Kevin says Mark Kason is probably secretly voting for Trump.
Well, he likes money.
Yeah.
Mark Kaysen likes money, and anybody that likes money
Mark
for sure is
Kaysen-
going to vote for Donald Trump.
That's right. Mark Kaysen's got some relatives that really, really, really are the far left. Mark Kaysen is a gamer that is playing a part.
Mark
He
Kaysen-
really is.
Mark Kaysen has a pair of Trump shoes. I know.
You know he does. You know he does. Because, yeah, he hangs a whole lot of conservatives and, likes to play the part of, oh, I hate Trump. And you know he's a closet Trumper.
He loves the way those shoes look.
That's right. That's right. You know what? If we get a pair of those shoes, we need to make sure we have him on and have his feet on the camera.
I want to get a picture of Vic holding those shoes, frame it, and put it in the studio.
Yeah,
let's do it. Let's do it.
I'd wear my size 14s anywhere if I had them. Chris says, by the way, guys, not that it makes any difference, but just announced independent presidential candidate Cornel West announced that Melina Abdullah, a prominent Black Lives Matter activist and professor, will be his 2024 running mate. Yeah, we'll try to bring it. I had no idea. I appreciate you sharing the information that we have. By the way, Trish says, have you guys noticed that food that's bad for you is cheaper than food that's good for you? Of course.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah, we talked about this before. Ham was explaining this to us from Route 66.
That's right.
Isn't it interesting when you look at organic food, you're paying more for natural food, meaning food that they did nothing with but put a higher price tag on.
That's right.
But then you have to pay higher for food that has had chemicals or something else put into it or on it. Yeah. There you go.
Such a racket.
It is a racket. All of it is. And that's why we just try to bring out everything that we possibly can, because the stuff frustrates the hell out of us. But Donald having a good day nonetheless. Something else that's going on right now, when it talks about the crazy situations, a couple things we want to get to, some interesting videos. One, Joe Biden's education secretary still refuses to admit or claim they know what a woman is. Once again, these are the dumbass issues that St. Louis City and liberals are focused. All social issues, nothing about security, nothing about crime, not our financial situation, not our border. Let's talk about he, she, and all of the stupid ass transgender issues. People, be quiet. You can go have your sexuality to yourself. Leave the kids alone. Do whatever the hell you want. Okay? But don't try to push it down other people's throats. And they're still trying to tell you, a U.S. Supreme Court judge trying to tell you, Biden's education secretary here refusing to admit what a woman is.
Can you define what a woman is?
I'll respond, Congressman Klein, the way I did last year. I'm here to talk about the budget and how to support the students in your district.
Well, I think it's very important that you determine that you know how to define a woman. As Ms. Frankel mentioned over there, she wanted to be sure that women had their fair share of funding. If you can't define what a woman is, how in the world can you determine that they get their fair share of funding? If you cannot understand and clearly define what a woman is, how can you make rules that protect women's rights? You can't. So I would ask you to please respect this committee and the U.S. Congress by answering my question.
I respect your role. I respect this committee. And I said I'm here to talk about the budget. And if you have a question about the budget, I'd be happy to respond.
I'm asking you a question and you're refusing.
That is Miguel Cardona, Dr. Miguel Cardona, the U.S. Education Secretary. We already know that this country is in a real bad spot when the leaders of this administration are the worst that this country's ever seen. And the guy that leads education is refusing to admit what a woman is.
Oh, that is ridiculous.
Refusing. And he knows. He's not dumb. He knows. He knows what a woman is, but he's refusing to admit it.
Well, it's a great point. Who do you fund? Explain to us who you fund, period.
And they're purposely not doing it because they know if they admit that a girl's a girl and a guy's a guy, they're going to have vitriol from the left. And like you said, Joe, there could be some funding problems, but they look like idiots when they say, oh, I don't know what a girl is, or they just don't answer the question.
The problem is we're taught, well, we want to be polite to people and give them a voice. Yes. But once they say they don't know what a woman is, then you have to end conversation.
Right. Because they're not being truthful.
That's when the game, the charade, the act needs to be called out and stopped, and you move on.
That's right. Yeah, you
We're
can't
not going
communicate.
to give attention to a whiny 3-year-old kid who's tired and needs a nap because they want attention. You cut it
Mhm.
off.
That's
You cut it
exactly
off immediately, and you do what you have to do to discipline the person.
Mhm.
We're tired of the BS, he, she, they, them. Go do your stuff privately. You should be allowed to go do what you want privately, but you can't be putting it on other people. When it comes to money and funding, then you're starting to affect other people. That's when it becomes a problem. And we see that over and over again. It's not getting any better. This is a massive, massive problem. And then, of course, if you don't answer the question, you make them leave the room. Leave that. I'm refusing to answer the question. And then you go from there, because all this is doing is wasting time. It's wasting money. Yes, Todd, I'll give you your little joke. I know you want me to say it, so I'll say it. A man has a penis, a woman has a vagina. End of story. Yes, but yeah, for the most part. But even those are being
No,
changed.
what do you mean
So
for the most part? That is what it is. That's how
a man is
biology
born.
is.
A man is born with a penis.
Yes, a man is born
A
with
woman is
penis.
born with a vagina.
That's right. I mean, and why won't people just say that? Why won't, I mean, he's saying it kind of to be funny, but you have to say that. Come on. I mean, you literally look down and you either have a vagina or a penis, and that's your answer. Come on. Unless you were born at, what do they call it? An
We haven't heard Lizzie's drop in a while. Can we hear Lizzie's drop?
Whack off your penis. Now you have a vagina. That's right. That's the only way that you're going to, even if you do whack off
your penis. Now you have a vagina. Vic. Balls.
That's me working in a preschool for too many years. Oh, I got to use my big girl voice on the show. And then you guys play these back, and I'm like, yeah, I'm talking.
Whack off your penis.
Put a mic in front of Lizzie and then.
Oh, and a Bahama Mama, baby. Look out. Get the recorder. We are ready to record.
That's right.
All the hard honesty from the chat line stopped when they started promoting the phrase "your truth." Yeah, that's a good point. And that starts with marketing companies. It's about you, what you want. You are more important. I'm telling you right now, none of us are that important. We're just really not. I'm sorry. And I don't want that to come across the wrong way. All right. Yes, we have a life, a God-given life. And I hope we try to utilize it to the best of our ability. But really, as individuals, we're not that cool.
That's right. We're not that cool.
And the sooner we realize that we're not that cool and that we're humble.
Got to be humble.
The problem, as we've talked about so many times when you get in from the God issue, is the fact the one thing the devil had the worst problem with is pride. And it's the worst thing in our world. Pride. Be humble, admit you're wrong if you are, and move on. It's no big deal. But humble for people is it's the worst thing.
Well, and they've got caught up. Like Mary's saying on the YouTube chat line, how do they then support the women's rights? And we say that a lot. They can't, and that's why they don't answer, because the left is for women's rights, but then they can't tell what a woman is.
Yeah.
It's all a lie.
But that message keeps getting put out there because Americans are too damn comfortable or too dumb to go, wait a second, let's break this down. Most everything is right there in front of our eyes. We make things a bigger deal. Like, so you're saying there's a chance that a woman could become a man. So you're saying there's a chance. No,
it's not going to happen no matter what.
So you're saying there's a chance.
That's right.
Because people and their pride and mind gets, but we're also told we'll be turned over to the things that we are if we turn our backs.
Well, you know what
God.
Lisa mentioned on the chat line, you know what is changing a lot of youth, I would say, because I had not seen it, but my kids all came and saw it. And there's this big expose on Hollywood and Nickelodeon. And so people that were starting to think that these Hollywood people were onto something, and they really see the abuse and who was abused. And if you watch it and see exactly who was abused, and they're the ones screaming leftist policies, you know that that's abuse. And it's pain talking. That's what nobody wants to talk about.
Yep.
These people that are saying these horrid things, they're really not right because of the abuse that was done to them, and they're in pain, and they want you to be in pain too. And no one tells you that.
Projo, and I agree with what you said. Hope you don't mind me saying it. Pride breeds entitlement. It does.
Yes, it does.
And then guess what? And then entitlement breeds more pride. That is a circle that continues to happen.
I mean, if you've noticed, even road rage has become, and I attribute that to pride.
That's right. Because I am the one that should get in front of you, Joe, because what I'm doing is way more important than what you're doing. So I'm going to cut over and cut you off. And then when you flip me off, I'm going to be like, what? What I'm doing is way more important than what you're doing. That's what road rage is.
I'm still encouraging people, do not have road rage.
You don't have
I
it.
always say that, do not have road rage.
No,
Do
it's
whatever you can. I know
to avoid it. That doesn't make you a sissy.
Get your pride in check.
the last time I said that, I was challenged like 2 hours later. And I kept my cool again. I was like, okay, this is how I've been the last 10, 15, 20 years. But just know, when you're trying to make changes for the better in your life, it's the way of life. You're going to be challenged.
That you are, because as soon as you say, I would never do that, or
Yes.
don't do that, God, or whatever you want to say, is going to test you on that issue.
Chris says he's going with me with ignorance of the American people because they only follow or learn from what they're told, not to actually seek real answers.
That's
because we
right.
don't teach people how to think critically. And that has nothing to do with critical race theory.
No.
It has to do with thinking critically, how to break down a subject, how to find solutions to answers, how to take all sides into account and actually look at fact and not worry about feeling. That's what thinking critically is about. And we've taken that out of younger schools, or younger kids in schools.
That's right.
But if I feel a certain way about something, there's got to be something to that. I got to be right.
The me disease.
That's right.
I'm important. What about me?
Yeah. it's
What
all
about me? What about you? What about you?
That's right. People have lost. Now, this is from a Christian
The sooner
standpoint.
parents teach their kids and remind them growing up that they're not supposed to be your best friend.
That's right.
I'm sorry, and I may upset some people because your love is so great, and that kids understand that, listen, we love you, but guess what? Don't ever think you're too important.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the number one message that needs to be sent to kids from parents that I think we have not done a good job with the last 30 years.
I would agree with that.
And the
because
opposite. Oh, little Johnny's the best.
That's right.
He does everything so great.
That's right. He does everything right, and he rules the household. And just sometimes you have to set your kids straight and say, I do love you, but you're not the boss of this house. God gave us, you to protect you, but to tell you right from wrong. If you really love your kids and you're bold, you're not going to let them walk all over you.
You're not. But the problem for kids gets into our next, and I, whenever I have quotes from Dr. Brett Weinstein, when he is speaking, I show them because I absolutely love the guy. But look at our life right now. Look at everything that's been thrown at kids. Because I also say it's also the most difficult time ever to be a kid.
It is. It is.
So there's so much thrown on, which is why it makes the job of parents even
hard.
more difficult when those things are happening. That's why I love Brett Weinstein, who I've talked about before, an American podcaster, author, former professor of evolutionary biology. Just a very interesting man. He really breaks things down tremendously. Got his education at the University of Penn. You guys know, scientist, and he's not afraid to speak truth. Listen to him speak about what this country is going through, and then you place it in the stories that we've shown today, and kids and everything else that Americans get thrown at, and all of the situations over the last 3 years that's going on, and then let it digest, and then we discuss it.
Universities spend huge sums of public money to reach preordained conclusions. Professors teach only lessons that are consistent with wisdom students have picked up on TikTok, even when those lessons contradict the foundational principles of their disciplines. The CDC has become an excellent guide to protecting your health, but only for people who realize you should do the opposite of whatever it advises. The courts, the last holdout in this ongoing inversion of reality, are now regularly used as a coercive weapon of elites against those who threaten them. We have literally witnessed the Department of Homeland Security attempt to set up a truth ministry and declare accurate critique of government as a kind of terrorism. To my fellow patriots in the West, the pattern is unmistakable. I cannot tell you with any certainty who they are or what they hope to accomplish, but I can tell you that we are being systematically denied the tools of enlightenment and the rights guaranteed in our Constitution. We, those who remain dedicated to the values of the West, must fight this battle courageously, and we must win. For if we do not stem the tide, the result will be a dark age that differs from prior dark ages only in the power and sophistication of the coercive instruments wielded by those who will rule us. Church universities.
Look him up, follow him. He's got
That
his
was
own
good.
podcast as well, Dark Horse Podcast. Does it sound familiar?
Yeah. And the key word that he said was systematically. For such a cool word, that is a lot. They have systematically been doing this to us. So each thing they do to us, it's just a little more, a little more, a little more, and we don't even see it coming.
That's why we just try to wake people up. I mean, nobody knows everything. We're trying because so many things are happening. So many issues have been put on that path. That train on the track gets going down, it gets pushed, and then you can just kind of leave it and let it go and see where it goes. And then let's start up another issue. Let's start up another fire. Let's start up another fire and see how long this can burn.
Where's the emergency stop button?
Right. Would
Yeah,
you
good
love
point.
to press the emergency stop button right now? I think there are many of us that are yelling with this emergency button, but too many people just don't think it's really that big of a deal yet.
It's not going to be a
Because
big deal until people
systematically.
start dying.
That's right.
Well, people that does the opposite of the government, what they were told to do during the pandemic, whatever, came out ahead. And you're starting to see that more and more now. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And then you talk about systematic things that are planned, all of those issues that we're trying to deal with right now. And then when you find out what we have, this stuff just, it frustrates the absolute hell out of me because we want the best for this country. We do. And that's what we try to do. You don't have to, you don't even, I mean, yes, you're a patriot. You don't have to call yourself a patriot. Just call yourself an American.
That's right. That's right.
I want what's best for America.
For Americans.
And then, because we should be about America. And then you can't give people ideas that they're right and their beliefs are right because they feel this way or that way, being entitled, because people are going to continue to come after you. We have a story right now. A Seattle dance team, a dance squad, said that they needed to take off their American flag shirts because their flags on their shirts made members of the audience feel unsafe.
That is ridiculous.
And triggered. Yeah. Once again.
Wow.
They were kicked out of a Seattle dance competition convention, line dancers, because they had American flag themed shirts on and were told that they were making people feel unsafe and triggered. This happened over the weekend at the Emerald City Hoedown in Seattle. So it happened
Hoedown.
At a hoedown country event, and they were told by the organizer, the Rain Country Dance Association, which, by the way, ended up being an LGBTQ dance community, that they were not welcome with American flag shirts. So now you have the LGBT community coming against Americans.
That is ridiculous.
Coming against the American
Then
flag.
why did they call it a hoedown? A hoedown screams in America, red, white, and blue, American flag, possibly a cowboy hat or a ball cap. They should have renamed
We're showing pictures of
Yes.
the line dancers. They've got their
They look
American flags
fantastic.
celebrating our country. And we're told that they were making those women are making people feel unsafe. No, what they're making you do is you're upset because you hate America.
That's right.
You've got a problem in your own head and your own heart, and you want to lash out at somebody else because we're sorry that something has happened to you in your life and you haven't been able to come to grips with it.
My, how the winds of racism have changed.
Isn't that the truth? And this doesn't surprise me that it's out of Seattle that they're
Well, of
saying that.
course.
Of course, but even then,
But
don't
where's the
call
love?
it a hoedown.
Where's the love? LGBTQ says, oh, you need to accept us. You need to love us. Where is the love? You need to be accepting. And it is interesting when it's the reversal and you're not accepting. And this isn't even a controversial issue. It's our flag.
It's our flag. But it's become a
country's
country
flag.
That's right. Our country's flag at a hoedown. Obviously
This is
they don't
what
understand
comes out
tradition.
of the entitlement society.
That's right.
I'm allowed to feel I don't like this. I don't like that somebody else has a different opinion than me. But then and again, this shows that you're a communist. You're not American.
Mm-hmm.
You're not for America. You don't appreciate the country that we've had, but yet you refuse to leave.
I bet if it was an LGBTQ flag theme, it did.
And then it would be fine. That it would be fine. But you know what? Looking at them, I'm not sure which triggered them first. The big American flag, the American flags, the cowboy boots, whatever. But like you said, maybe
Can we see the picture again, Projo? If you can pop that up.
that just screams Americana, that picture.
Yeah, Megan says send all the illegals to Seattle.
Yeah, because they don't like America, and then they can be the United Nations up there.
I'm trying to
whatever
find,
flag they
I'm
want.
looking hard now for our listeners on the podcast, showing a picture of these women. I don't know, about 20 young women, beautiful women. I'm trying to find anything that's triggering.
Of all different races, by the way.
Yeah, I can't even see what's triggering in that.
They have
picture
cowboy
right
hats
now.
on, jeans, boots, and shirts that are American flag shirts.
I'm trying to wait there too. I don't see anybody flipping anybody off, anybody making a face. I mean, I don't see anything
They're all
triggering.
smiling.
They're at a hoedown. That's a big thing. A hoedown.
I don't know if they got their money back for
I hope
entering.
so.
That was a question from the chat line. It did not say. I'm really trying to figure out what's unsafe about their American line dancers.
Yeah, and they're line dancers. Here's the thing.
This
okay?
is what happens with DEI.
Yes.
This is what happens with entitlement. This is what happens when liberal mainstream media starts telling people not to love our country. This is what happens when the Colin Kaepernicks of the world say that they didn't like our flag. This is what happens when the athletes go against the flag. This is what happens when you're told that you're a lot cooler and you deserve to be treated in such a wonderful way. No, this is what happens when all that happens. And then you show your true colors. Beautiful young women just trying to line dance at a hoedown, and they're told that they're unsafe.
That is the weirdest thing ever. And here's
menacing
the
and
weirdest
threatening.
thing. Gay people that don't like America, maybe they can go to Europe and be treated just fine. But a lot of the other countries that they defend would cut their head off. I mean, do they
great
not
point.
understand that?
Great point.
They go other, in America, you have the right to say whatever you want to say. But you go to these places, so what kind of flag? A Saudi Arabia flag? A Pakistan? And the gay people holding a Hamas flag? Come on.
From the chat line, guys, remember it's the Marxist philosophy. You hate America.
That's right.
You try to hate America. And the longer you do that, then you have people who will turn on America. Then America will not fight for itself.
Mhm.
Then America can be overrun from the inside. It's
That's
pretty
what's
simple.
happening. That's what's happening right now. We talked about our military the last couple days, and it's like our military is not what it used to be, and that they're doing it from the inside out.
Also, because we had some videos and kind of flying through at the end of our show, as if we didn't know already, but we try to hit all the updates that we possibly can. This is the fastest 2 hours in podcasting, and you know how fast it goes. You now have a CIA undercover agent admitting FBI agents were all over January 6th.
Mhm, that's right.
We already know this. We've shown videos too, but every time that we have more evidence or somebody else willing to come forward and talk, we bring that forward to you. So once again, here it is, another CIA officer admitting that this was going on, how it was all planned and started by the FBI.
Looks like Genie is about to be released from the bottle. Here's the headline. CIA officer admits to undercover journalist that FBI agents attended the January 6th protest at the Capitol. According to Town Hall, the agent in question is Gavin O'Blennis, a self-proclaimed contracting officer for the CIA and a former member of the FBI. Now, according to reports, he was caught on camera by an undercover journalist with sound investigations. When asked if the public will ever find out about that, FBI agents were in the crowd that day. The officer responded, "Nope," and they probably never will. Tara, do you have any insight on this?
No, I mean, your show has been so good on really highlighting what happened on January 6th. You guys have done such a good job, but I think it goes to show the overall atmosphere and environment at the DOJ. And this also in that interview, when you listen to that interview that you're mentioning here, that the undercover journalist was able to recover from this FBI agent, he also talked about how they entrap people. And he talked about Alex Jones. He talked about how they try to get the people that they're targeting to go broke. There's a lot of insight in there about how the FBI agents use entrapment. And then you look at the January 6th event, and you guys have talked about it so much as far as the FBI infiltrators that were there. And then you go back to the Michigan, remember Governor Whitmer's plot as well that was foiled. And those were full of FBI informants. Those were full of FBI agents. And then you go back to the entrapment. And yesterday, there's FBI whistleblowers that spoke at a heritage event, and they were saying the FBI needs to be abolished because it's turned into a Marxist culture.
Yeah,
and so there raises serious questions.
You see the conversation, once again, Real America's Voice. Glad that they did that interview in that segment because, oh my, the more evidence that comes out, but people won't want to look at those scorecards. They won't want to talk about it nationally, which is why you can't listen to national news. Yeah. And it's one of those things that takes us on a little bit of a path here. I saw that come out about 10 minutes ago. We just hadn't had a chance to get to it. O.J. Simpson died. So he's passed away at the age of 76. I didn't see what a cause of death was. I have no idea, but I'm sorry. I don't want to make a big deal about it in the sense of, he was a murderer. We all know it. We know what he did. Damn good attorneys got him off. And thankfully on other issues, he did have to go back to prison for at least something.
He apparently had cancer. Yeah, he apparently.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that.
Yeah, and he died of cancer. And I'm with you, Vic. I mean, it's worth mentioning because a couple of our listeners.
No, yeah, we have
my
to
attention.
It. Yeah, we're news.
For sure.
We do news.
Yeah, and so I'm not a big fan. You know what he did, and he got off with great attorneys, but it's worth mentioning.
76 years of age, of course, former NFL player. And her name was Nicole Brown Simpson. And all the evidence pointed to him killing her in a love feud, anger, all of the things. Don't ever forget O.J. Simpson in his white Bronco taking off from police.
He was one of the first that I remember that ever happening.
That was
running from
the
police.
most guilty thing ever.
Yes.
And everybody knew he was guilty until he got to court, and then he had attorneys.
I think that era.
So I'll be more than happy to talk about O.J. Simpson being guilty and what he did, showing his guilt.
Glorified the police chase.
That's right.
They televised that, and then after that, every police case was televised.
That's right. That's the first I remember. Vic might know more because he's been in media for so long, but as a lay person, that was the first time I was like, wow.
No, the ratings were sky high.
Because that was not. Now, if you see a police chase, people don't pay as much attention to it because it happens every day.
They don't do it anymore because there's laws against it now. Because of that, because everybody was running at that point, hoping that they would be on TV.
Yeah.
Peg says there's a special place in hell for him. Yeah, I did know this too. Now that you brought it up, Joe, Nicole Brown Simpson's family was from the St. Louis area, Fenton area. And of course, God bless her soul and everything else that went on.
I'm thinking he's not seeing her after he died because he's probably down there burning up in hell.
Well, yeah, he met his maker.
Yeah, he sure did.
I guarantee that happened already.
His judgment, his real judgment happened.
Yep, I'm sure it is.
Donna says, I remember that white Bronco. It ruined a lot of my TV shows that night. Yeah.
Yeah, it sure did.
And the one case that started the court TV trend.
That's
once
right,
again. I'll never forget. I was playing college football at Mizzou at the time. And I knew that we had, there was race issues, but this thing became it was black versus white.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, let's just be honest. We're honest. We call those situations as there. And whatever happened, but I still remember, being, 20, I think I was 20 years old, 20 at the time. I can't remember, 19, looking at my teammates, my African-American teammates, not all, but a large group of them, yelling, running around the locker room when the decision came out, cheering and free OJ. And it's like they were so uneducated. A woman was dead, murdered, and all it was OJ. It's like, who cares who did it? Who cares if he did it? He's off.
That's right.
And it was like black versus white.
It really was.
We're winning. We're getting back at the white man. And that was the feeling that it was just. And we just sat around, we watched they literally ran around the locker room crazy. And I never understood that. And then I hope that if they did that, maybe it was just being young and dumb, that they really, I mean, he did it and the evidence all showed it.
And I think most
I'm going to
people
go find the person who did. Okay, whatever, OJ.
He was even found guilty in the
Civil.
The civil.
Yeah, but that I can't give much credit to that because civil cases, civilly, Donald Trump's been found civilly. So that's my comparison. It's not right.
Yep.
Many of the civil cases are just not right.
If the gloves don't fit, you must acquit.
Yeah. Wow.
It's basically what they said it boiled down to.
Insane that was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, look
really
what that did for
insane.
his attorneys
and
their
Right.
family.
Brenda says, yeah, Vic, one of the first times I felt divided by race.
Yeah. That was the first of a lot of things with the race
It was
things
also
coming
around the
back up.
Rodney King era as well.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's a good point. No, it is. When you think of race and where that shot through. But it is interesting when you talk about race too. I was listening to a study was done. Something happened in the year 2013 where all of a sudden government and TV started using racial terms where stories started to divide, where most people felt in America like we didn't have race problems. Races were getting along, black and white, according to surveys. And then all of a sudden in 2013, new words started being used. DEI was brought to the table. New terminology that we had never heard, where we were trying to protect and worried about everybody's feelings. And then it started racial issues.
That's right.
The stats, and it was in the year 2013 when that was done. Who was president in 2013? I'm trying to remember.
Bush?
No.
No?
I said that rhetorically.
Oh, my bad. Oh, Trump.
No.
What?
When did Donald Trump?
2013. Hold on.
When did Donald Trump take office? He took office in 2016.
We know who it is. It's because it's, of course,
Guys,
Obama.
I was trying to speak rhetorically.
It's Obama. I mean, of course. And that's when most of us recognize. Now, we know that
and it
Clinton
was right after he was elected.
Yep. He did it
and
right away.
It was in his first year of office.
That's right. He started it immediately.
Let's start the great divide
That's
of
right.
black and white in America.
That's right. Because I don't even, as nefarious as Clinton could have been and Bush could have been, I didn't think they were trying to divide people by race. But as soon as Obama came in,
let's start to divide heterosexuals from people who are gay. Let's divide Christians and Muslims and Jews. Let's divide, let's divide, let's divide. And it goes back to 2013.
And it's sad
Obama,
'cause so many didn't
Obama's
see it.
administration. Wasn't that the year Obama wrote in government could use government propaganda in the media domestically? I don't know if that was 2013, but yes, he did put forth legislation that says that media does not have to cover things in a factual manner, that it's entertainment. So somebody does not have to be 100% fact reporting. Now, people can sue, and you can do that. Bendy says divide and conquer. In 14 is when LGBTQ became at the forefront of education. We started having workshops about that instead of academics.
Yeah. That was a lot of that going on in 13, 14, 15, and then it just escalated. And they tried to, that was the beginning of the shame, the white educator and the white children in the school. It was actually came down to shame. It wasn't trying to educate on races, it was trying to shame white people.
Very, 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 very interesting. So anyway, we try to bring all that to our show. That's what we do. That could also be a leader into tomorrow's show. We got Eric tomorrow. We've got Kelly Mano in tomorrow. Megan's going to be in, filling in for Lizzie. Lizzie's going to be, what part of the country are you going to be in tomorrow?
The country of Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas City. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you have fun. Always feel free to send us a picture. We like to see your travels when you're doing volleyball with your daughter. We'll do our best to hold down the fort. And we thank you guys for joining us for canceltheshow.com every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. We love your support. We appreciate you guys. Bendy says, Vicar, you cheered up now.
Yes.
No, maybe
he's going to even go and get some Chick-fil-A and go and be putting it in his mouth and be saying, Trump 2024. I know this is poisoning my body, but Trump 2024.
Well,
that's what you're going to be
I
doing.
was forced to drink some tap water the other day, and I guarantee the tap water that I drink, was every bit as bad as the Chick-fil-A.
I bet.
So
Our tap water
anyway,
was so bad.
I was forced to. I had no other choice.
You were forced?
Yeah, long story. Nothing else was there. Anyway, Once again, we love you guys. Joe's looking at me like, oh my God. Yes, I
Oh
know.
my God. Mhm.
But the tap water is not that different than the bottled water either.
I know.
And
Our
I've
bottled
talked
water's
water
not that
before.
great.
We're going to have Nelson on soon.
Bottled water at least tastes better.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's true.
So join us tomorrow. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show, letting people know what we're doing. Joe, appreciate it. Pro Joe in the house for Lizzie Sparks. I'm Vic Faust, guys. Have an awesome day. That does it for the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. Cancel this. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m.